I reckon it's time for an update. So, how's the season been going? Life in League of 3 has started really well. Even the King's back from injury doing things like this. And hot prospect Zapata has been insane. I couldn't have asked for a better start. We've won every match and we've looked really good. We've only conceded 3 goals and we're smashing goals in. Tactic-wise, we've mostly played this. It's the 4-2-3-1 with Valente kind of roaming around. Now, during the matches, if I see a gap here and there, I'll move him. I'll put him there. I'll put him in the middle. I'll even, and this is a key one, if we're dominating, sometimes I've made him into a trequartista, even though he doesn't actually want to play there. But when he doesn't need to defend, push him on a bit more. Now, this is the player instructions episode, but we'll get to that later on if this tactic holds up. Because we've got bigger news, and it's this. If we're going to hit these targets, we need to stay here a long time. So one of the early steps on this is to get a new contract, and the board have come at us with a 2-year deal, which I happily accepted. So that's us here till 2026. So that's a good early step, a good early target for the manager in this sort of service to keep the contracts coming. You don't want 1-year deals, really. So we've got a 2-year deal, and our early days have looked pretty good. Interestingly, if you look at the player stats, it says players bought 17. Signed, because we bought nobody. Players sold 4, same deal, because total value in is 0, total value out is 0. We've paid a little bit to agents, which is annoying. Further down, though, number of players released is 18. So actually, it's more like we brought in 17 and out have gone 22. Now over to finances, and you can see in the top corner there, we are in the red by 53,000. Current board put some money in. We were in the black for a little period, maybe a couple of weeks, and now we're back in the red. What that does mean is the tycoon that was rumoured hasn't came. And to be honest, I'm quite happy with that. I don't want a sugar daddy at this stage. I want to stay down and dirty in these lower leagues and build our way up. So if he comes, he's not welcome, but it doesn't look like he's coming. So currently we are 5 for 5. We're 5 for 5. We're top of the league, and we just need to be in that top 4, because the top 4 goes into that breakaway group. So I think what it is there's two leagues, promotion and relegation. The promotion one's going to have 8 teams in, 7 games at home, 7 away, 14 in total, so it'll add to it. Going to end up being about a 32-game season all in all. I mentioned at the start about Zapata. He has been unreal. We played him up front this season. Last year we moved him to the wing, didn't we? But he's up front. He scored 6 in 5. He's starting to recognise that potential we had. Now he's a day one as Zapata, so we want to bring him through the leagues with us. And to get him better, we've actually focused on his positioning of playing in advanced forward, and we've added the additional focus of agility and balance, and they are on the way up. So that's how we're trying to improve him. We'll see how he goes as the season progresses. And if the momentum sticks and we're starting to get success with this tactic, we'll get back to it and we'll have a little look at the player instructions and see what we've done. Now it's time to get through this clutch of games. Yes, what a time we have had. We've finished top of our little group. Again, it doesn't mean a league title. We did this last year, didn't we? It doesn't mean a league title. We need to win the championship group. But we are top. Second in total points, only to Sporting CPB. Only the 3 defeats. Plenty of goals scored. Lovely. And you saw Zapata score a truckload. Now, I do want to pay attention to one match. Do you remember Paredes? That one team that we could not beat. Late in the season, Paredes came to visit Salgueiros at our temporary home, and this happened in the first 10 minutes. Five 0 after 9 minutes. The game finishes 7-3. I think we've had our revenge. Results like that meant that we are now in the top 8. The championship group, we play each team twice, so we've got 14 more matches here. Makes it a bit of a longer season than you think. So the top 2 will go automatically up to the second division. The third place, which is why it's in a slightly different colour, will go into a playoff to get up into the next division. So it's top 3 or bust. So here is the current lineup. You'll notice that There's no Abel and there's no holding midfielder Yaya. They're just in rotation at the minute. Abel's had a few injuries this season. Let's have a little look at him. There he is. He's still contributed. He's had 12 total appearances, 2 assists and a goal, but he's been injured so much. But he's lingering around the squad and we love him, so we keep him. Zapata's been the main guy up front. Started the season like house on fire. The whole season now, he's scored 15 in 19. If you look at his attributes there, they're all on the way up. We have progressed him really nicely. In fact, if you go up to his development tab and drop down to progress, you can see the start of February 24. He's a bit of a 2.5 star player, but you can see the incline of his abilities on the way here. 3 star at the minute, but his potential ability is going up and up. 3.5 star. Now we're at 3.5, pushing to get that 4 star potential ability. He's a wanted man, and because we have to sell players who hit release clauses, we actually went into him and we got him a new deal, which meant his minimum fee release clause has now bumped up to 120,000, so that's double what it was. We had to get that deal done, so if he does get sold now, at least it's more money, but I'm hoping he doesn't. You'll notice the progression, that's purely from playing him in his favoured position, training him right in the same role, and picking out a couple of areas of his game to improve as well with some additional training. It's worked the treat, and he's bagged 15 goals this season. You saw some other goals there from highlight players. Konstantinescu, who's only on loan with us, 9 assists, 17 games. He's a class above. We need to keep him. And Valente took a little while to settle, but he's there now. His current form's fantastic. He's on 7.4 in his last 5 matches. 5 goals, 4 assists. Lovely player. So player instructions. These can make your set tactic into a completely different tactic. And this is what we've done with ours. We haven't put too much on them because it's lower league football. We don't want to do too much and overcomplicate things. Just a few key ones. My approach to player instructions is accentuating some positives of the players and in some cases eliminating the negatives as best you can. If we look across the back there, you can see the inverted wing back on defend. None needed there, quite happy with that. Same with the central defenders, and the wing back we've actually asked him to dribble a little bit less because if you look at his attribute level, his dribbling is 9. So let's not encourage that. He's not the best at it. I want him to stay wider for the sake of the team to spread the game a bit. Central midfield defence, even making him more solid, is taking fewer risks. Basically, I want him to get it and give it, get it and give it. Central midfielder, we've only got movement and channels on him, mostly because behind him we've got an inverted wing back popping in there. And we've also got Konstantinescu, who likes to roam around and come inside. So sometimes he will overlap him as he comes inside. Speaking of Konstantinescu, we want to take advantage of his class. So he's got more direct passes because of his vision and his passing and his technique ability. With the take more risks as well. Cross less often because we don't really want him to do that. We don't need him to do that. He's coming inside a lot more. And shoot less often. I want him to be more of a creator. Valente, take more risks, dribbling more, get further forward. And you'll notice I've got mark specific position. Which one is that? It's the opposition's defensive midfielder. So he kind of hovers around this side. If there is a defensive midfielder who's a bit of a playmaker, he will be around him to try and nullify that. The inside forward, we'll leave him as is, and then Zapata up front. Simple, simple, simple. So yeah, just a little few player instructions. You'll notice the main guys like Konstantinescu, I still can't say that, and Valente, they've got a little bit more because I feel like they can deal with it a bit more. The rest, it's all pretty basic stuff, if any at all. So the January transfer window is open. We haven't done much, but we've just done a little bit to help improve our team, and it's one I'm really excited about, using the South American flavour. Shastri is our number 1, and he has been for 2 years, but there has been a slight drop-off when we're conceding too many goals. If you look at his last 5 matches, 6.74, but conceding 7 as well. An opportunity came to sign this man, Breno, a 24-year-old Brazilian from Santos. Now, goalkeeper attribute-wise, across the board, really good, and because of his age, there can be improvement here. He's probably going to be an upgrade on Shastri. Signs are good when he came in and he needed a minimum fee release clause of 170. That's close to being the biggest our club. I'm tempted to throw him straight in the team for this championship group. It'll be harsh on Shastri, but he could be the future. So we're about to go into this championship group. We've got 7 matches now. Sporting twice is going to be tough. We need to somehow get in that top 2. Worst case scenario, top 3. I do think that we are ahead of schedule. The squad were more than capable of hitting that Gegen press approach, like we used the squad filter to find out. We made some good signings. A basic formation, but one that's working. It's time for the championship group.